When Hurricane Melissa hit Jamaica in November 2025, it did more than just destroy homes and livelihoods. It also caused widespread devastation. It also revealed the harsh reality of climate injustice. For years, scientists have warned that global warming, mostly caused by wealthy, industrialized countries, leads to stronger hurricanes in the Caribbean. These nations produce the majority of greenhouse gas emissions, but small islands, such as Jamaica, suffer the worst effects. Jamaica lacks the resources and power to hold these countries and corporations accountable. Jamaica is particularly vulnerable to hurricanes. The island lies in the Caribbean hurricane belt between 17 and 19 degrees north, right in the path of storms that form over the warm Atlantic from June to November. For centuries, this has shaped life in Jamaica, with communities sharing knowledge about coping with hurricanes from one generation to the next. The island's geography is the same, but climate change has made things worse. The past few decades have been difficult. Hurricane Gilbert in 1988 caused widespread destruction. Hurricane Ivan in 2004 brought severe flooding and landslides. Hurricane Dean in 2007 hit the farming sector hard. Hurricane Matthew in 2016 damaged infrastructure and affected many lives. Just over a year after Hurricane Beryl, Jamaica is now facing even worse damage from Hurricane Melissa. Each storm has caused immediate destruction and long-term economic problems that keep adding up. And yes, Jamaica does have disaster insurance. We have the Caribbean Catastrophe Risk Insurance Facility, and we have a catastrophe bond. CCRIF paid Jamaica about $92 million. The catastrophe bond paid $150 million. Together, that sounds like a lot, until you compare it to the actual damage. Melissa caused between $6 and $7 billion in losses. So insurance covered roughly 3.5%. Imagine losing your entire house and being told insurance will only pay for your front door. These insurance products were created for a world where hurricanes were bad, but not this bad. Not climate supercharged, not record-breaking, not producing damage equal to a third of country's GDP. CCRIF wasn't designed for the new climate reality. Neither were catastrophe bonds. They are built around old-era risk models that no longer match what we're facing. Insurance covers quick liquidity, not long-term destruction. It helps clear roads. It does not rebuild entire farming economies. It does not repair schools, restore hospitals, or replace 120,000 damaged homes. It cannot revive tourism, which loses millions long after the storm is gone. CCRIF gives fast cash, yes, but cannot rebuild a shattered economy. And here's the thing. CCRIF doesn't pay based on what Jamaica actually loses. It pays based on a formula: wind speed, rainfall triggers, storm path. These are called parametric triggers. So even if the real damage is catastrophic, if the formula isn't hit, the payout stays small. Catastrophe bonds aren't humanitarian tools. They're financial instruments. They exist to protect investors first and countries second. Investors take the risk, sure, but only after very specific conditions are met. These conditions are strict, extremely strict. Jamaica only gets the full payout if the storm checks every box. And Melissa barely triggered enough to unlock the money. Insurance is a band-aid on a bullet wound. It is reactive, not preventive. It helps Jamaica survive disaster, but it does nothing to stop the next one. Nothing to address the emissions crisis. Nothing to force wealthy countries to pay for the damage they caused. It keeps Caribbean nations trapped in a cycle of pay premiums, get hit by storm, rebuild, repeat, while the real polluters remain untouched. Historically, the world's richest countries, the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, the European Union, and Japan, have produced over half of all global greenhouse gas emissions since the Industrial Revolution. Meanwhile, the entire African continent produces less than 4% of today's emissions. The poorest 50% of humanity contribute only about 12%. For the poor, emissions come from cooking, farming, and basic living. For the rich, emissions come from super yachts, private jets, oversized homes, and luxury lifestyles. Countries like Jamaica contribute almost nothing to global warming, less than 0.1% of global emissions. Yet they face the most dangerous climate impacts: stronger hurricanes, rising seas, destroyed infrastructure, and massive economic losses. For decades, rich countries promised climate finance. They pledged $100 billion a year to help fix the crisis. But most of it came as loans, not grants. That means countries like Jamaica must borrow to fix a disaster they didn't cause. That's not justice. That's a debt trap. True climate justice means wealthy nations must pay their fair share, with grants, not loans. They must cut emissions from luxury and excess, not from survival. Tax private jets, not farmers. Reform the IMF and World Bank to give the global South a voice. Because resilience is not the same as responsibility. Jamaica is resilient, always has been. But resilience should not be mistaken for acceptance. Climate change deepens inequality, and Hurricane Melissa is proof. The world cannot treat Jamaica's suffering as a line item in a budget. Climate justice means responsibility, shared, fair, and immediate.